there are several aspects to what I do. Is it better to have it all under one brand name website with different pages, or would it be better to have multiple web pages for each thing? We're going to talk to Betty. Betty asks this question. She says, CJ, there are several aspects to what I do. Is it better to have it all under one brand name website, like bettybrink.com, with different pages, or would it be better to have multiple web pages for each thing? Books, coaching, speaking, etc. So my answer is going to be yes. Thanks for your question, Betty. We'll see you next time. No, I'm just kidding. Let me go into it for just a minute. There are several aspects to what Betty does, and she's asking, is it better to have one website with all the stuff on it, or is it better to make specific websites that address specific things? The truth is, both could be right depending on your situation. So I would say before we get to decide that, we would start with these two questions instead. Number one, what are your goals for your website? Because what you might discover is you have different goals. If you think of like my one website, my bettybrink.com website, you might have goals for that website and that website only. But then as you think of the possibility of having numerous other, what we could call mini sites or landing page style sites, you could have different goals for those specific websites. So by asking yourself the question of what are your goals for your website or your landing pages, however many you have of those, you'll find you may have different goals, and that right there could give you the answer. And if it doesn't, ask this second question, your target market. When you think of your one main website, bettybrink.com, do you have different target markets for that one website? Or are all of your services, books, coaching, speaking, etc., are those all to the same audience? So here's the questions to think of. Your goals for your website or websites, and your target market or target markets for your website or landing page sites. That's where we need to begin the conversation, because through that process of talking about your goals and your target market, that's where we'll get the answer to whether it makes more sense to have one big website or have multiple landing page sites. I think there's value in both. And I'll give you an example with what I'm doing. Here's an example of how I'm doing that same thing, Betty. I've got my one big website, gilbertstudios.com. That represents my business entity, Gilbert Studios. We're a website design company. So all of my services that are related to website design are on that page, right? We've got website development, website design. We've got website hosting, domain name registration. I help with email setup. So it starts with website design, but then it trickles down into these very related topics. We were just talking a few minutes ago about the directory listings. That's one of my services now under my Gilbert Studios brand. And a couple other things, web coaching, one-on-one coaching to answer questions and solve problems in real time like this. So my gilbertstudios.com website, my Gilbert Studios brand for my company, it does have multiple services in it. You can also find information about my books and that kind of thing there too, and some of my programs. But I've also begun to develop landing page sites just for specific tasks. For example, a few minutes ago, I was telling you about the workshop, right? The free video workshop, mywebsitesafari.com. So you can go to gilbertstudios.com and then you can see a link. Oh, what's this free workshop? Click, and now you're over at mywebsitesafari.com. You can sign up for that course. You can go through the videos. All the videos are hosted there. So there is benefit in both. Can you see that there's benefit in both? I know Betty's not on the call with us live right now. She had another obligation, but she'll watch this later and she'll let me know if that makes sense and if she has any follow-up questions. Betty, let me know if you have any follow-up questions. Okay, would you please? So again, I don't want to say yes, maybe, no, kind of give you this vague answer, but the true answer is it could be different for each person. There could be someone that says, you know what, I'm just going to make this one website. Everything's going to fit into it. It's going to make a lot of sense to do it that way. And then there's going to be another person that says, no, it makes a lot more sense to have specific landing pages to address specific people with a specific product or offering. For example, gilbertstudios.com, lots of web design related services. My website, safari.com, there is only one thing you can do there. There is only one specific purpose for that website. It's to give you my free videos. It's to get you to sign up. It's to give you a place to sign up. You pop in your email address. That puts you in the system. The system starts sending you emails at your choice, 1 day or 3 days, with those video lessons. And as you get them, you click and you come back to the website to watch the next video. That's the only thing on that website, right? It's the sign up page, and then it's the 7 pages, one that holds each one of those videos. So there's an example of a landing page style website whose specific purpose is only to deliver that educational content. Does that make sense, Betty? Does that make sense, everyone in the room? So there's going to be yes answers to both of those things. I've got another couple examples. I've got my my website as a speaker, cjgilbert.live. That website exists for the sole purpose of showing myself as a speaker and offering my speaking to groups and groups of entrepreneurs and business owners and keynote speaker. And so that one website is really just a one-page site that's targeted for a specific purpose to a specific audience. That's where you can grab my speaker one sheet. That's where you can request to book me for your upcoming event or seminar or workshop or what have you. So you see, Betty, I'm kind of doing the same thing that you're asking about right now, but it started with the one website. And then as it made sense, we started to create the additional websites around it, the different landing pages that kind of support it. So Gilbert Studios is the main one up here, but then these other ones have started to exist. My website, safari.com, cjgilbert.live. And the next one I'm going to build is for my website Treasure Hunt, websitetreasurehunt.com. Now, if you go there today, if you're watching this live or very soon near August 14th, 2019, and you go to websitetreasurehunt.com, for now, that's going to forward you to gilbertstudios.com and land you on that service page, because that's what I have right now. But in the weeks to come, I will be developing a specific landing page style website just for that one service to deliver it specifically. So I hope I've given you some examples of how both things could be true, right? So let's talk real quick about BettyBrink.com. Everyone go to BettyBrink.com. She's an amazing person. She's written a book. It was about her weight loss journey. It started as, I'm going to write a book about weight loss. And what it really turned into is something totally different. It turned into a book about how to appreciate yourself and how to learn to love yourself on a deeper level. And it doesn't talk about diet and exercise at all. It's all about how to love yourself. It started as one thing and evolved naturally into something else. And now she's helping a lot of people through her program and her book. And so she's thinking about that. She's like, well, now I got my program and I got my coaching and I got my speaking. I got the class that I do weekly, but then I also want to offer it to other groups. What do? I believe that's where her question is coming from. So Betty, start with your main thing that you have now, bettybrink.com. And then as it makes sense, we can begin to develop other landing page style sites for exactly that purpose. So you may follow my model. bettybrink.com is your main deal, but then you might have specific things. Now, in your case, I don't know if you need a speaker website specifically because you're using your own name, bettybrink.com, as your brand. So it would make sense to have a page on there about you being a speaker. So I feel like for you, the answer is yes. It makes sense to do all of those things, right? Start with your main brand, start with organizing that in a structured way that makes sense. But then as it makes sense, you'll probably begin to develop those specific pages too. What do you think, guys? Do you have questions on that? Does that make sense to you? Give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. If that's making sense, if you're hearing the words coming out of my mouth, please let me know if you have any feedback on that. If you have any follow-up questions on that, I'd love to get back to you. I hope that answers your question, but if you have further questions, they are absolutely encouraged. Okay, so please let me know. We're going to go into our next question.